It. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today is part 3 of the How to Use a Vision Board to Create the Life of Your Dreams workshop. So it's the season finale. We're going to wrap it all up, tie everything together. We're going to talk about what we can do. We went over a few topics or suggestions in order to make manifesting our dreams run a lot more smoothly. So now we're going to dive in a little bit more deeper. So first, let's examine what you've been doing so far. So for those of you who are familiar with vision boards or made vision boards, you've sit down with a few of your friends, you probably had a glass of wine or champagne, and you got one of those old school science project boards, and you got some magazines and you cut out things that you love or you wanted or you want to bring into your life, and maybe you've gone onto the computer and Pinterest and you've printed out, looked for ideas that visualize what it is that you're trying to manifest, right? So you start pasting those, gluing them, stapling, whatever you do. Maybe you've done it digitally and you've gone into Canva and, added some pictures from the internet, and, you made them look pretty, and bam, your vision board is done. And you put it up. You put it up on the wall. You put it up as your screensaver. You put it as your phone background. And a few months have now passed. And you look over at the vision board and you're like, nothing's happened. I haven't manifested any of this stuff. And it causes you to wonder. You start to think, did I do something wrong? What happened here? So we're going to answer all of those questions today. I am going to help you. For those of you who don't know who I am the real Miss Lacey. But, we're friends now. We've been together for 3 days, so you can call me Lacey. And I am the creator of the Dream Timeline Accelerator coaching and healing program. And in this container, I help supermoms and future supermoms plant the confidence they need to manifest their dreams. So again, we've talked about a few things, and this is my favorite part of the week because now I get to share with you and make sure that you have the tools you need to cultivate the confidence that will help you to manifest your dreams. And that's really what's missing here, because that negative voice in your head that is telling you now is not the time. Don't do it. You don't have time for this. You don't have the money for that. All of that is really, truly, if you dig down deep, it's a lack of confidence. Because if you were confident that you can succeed, if you were confident that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or call in would be successful, would work how you want it to work, then you would do it in an instant. So what is missing is the confidence. And now it's time for you to take some notes. I'd like to invite you to grab a piece of paper and something to write with, and we're going to go over a few steps. And basically, I'm going to outline the 3 phases in the Dream Timeline Accelerator coaching program and how it can help you with all of the components that we've spoke about this week. So what we will be going over is how to plant the confidence that you're missing so that you can feel confident, strong, powerful in your approach to manifesting or building your dream life. Then we're going to talk about developing the tools that are needed to live in a life of abundance. Because if we call in what we want, we have to make sure that we can grasp it, that we're not, looking out in thin air and missing our opportunities. So we'll discuss the tools needed to build that life of abundance and keep it and hold on to it. And then we'll also talk about how to create the freedom that you need to manifest your dreams, all of those dreams on your vision board. That freedom, the freedom from the guilt, the freedom from the fear, the freedom from the money problems, the freedom from the credit issues. How do we get there? So I'm sure you can tell that I have a love affair with flowers. And the whole idea of flowers is one of the components that I've added into this program, because manifesting your dreams is like tending to a garden. You know, the seed that we plant into the earth is the confidence that we're missing. And we care for it. We give it love. We place it in the light. We cleanse its surroundings. Make sure we pull up any weeds or anything getting in the way. We water it. We ensure that the roots have a safe place to sprout and support them with vitamins or nutrients that they need. And then once the seed pops up and it begins to sprout and we see the stem, that's when we get excited. And that's when we begin to embody our role as the gardener. Like, we really did it. Because in the beginning, we're like, oh, we put the seed, we watered it, we did what we had to do. But it's not real until we see that stem sprout out from the ground. Then we fertilize the earth. We're excited now. We're pumped, right? We see all the new growth. We make sure that it's in its healthy environment because we want that stem, that seed to sprout and to bloom. And this is what allows that seed of confidence that we planted to bloom into that beautiful flower that we are harvesting. That is what our wildest dreams are. That flower that grows, that's the dream. So here's where we start to take notes. Phase 1 is the dream germination process. This is where we get that seed ready. Here we uncover a crystal clear vision of your dream. We identify your unique manifestation center and we create your vision board according to your human design. We are all different. So trying to place ourselves in this cookie cutter printout of how to manifest is not going to work, and it's probably why you've had troubles in the past. You know, so we start off with code 1, which is the grounding power of earth. And here we will learn how getting grounded will help to bring you closer to the true meaning of abundance. Because if you can't truly identify what it is that you need, that you want, the abundance you're trying to call in, it's going to be very hard for you to reach there. It's just like GPS. If you open your Google Maps and you don't know your destination, how is it going to tell you to get there? You know, it's the same premise. Then we move on to code 2. And code 2 is the love, sight, and light code. And this is where we begin to learn how to put ourselves first without feeling guilty. We develop a crystal clear vision of that dream, and we make sure that it's in complete alignment with what it is that we are trying to manifest. And I'll give you an example of that. You know, I worked with a client before, and their goal was, you know, I want to run a marathon. But having worked with her for so long, I'm like, do you really? You don't like to run. When was the last time you ran a mile? So how do you think you're going to go from not running more than a half a mile in your life to running, what's a marathon, 26 miles? And really, what she really wanted to do was be healthy, to be at optimum physical condition. And for her, that looked like someone who ran a marathon. So she was missing the self-awareness component to that. And once we dug up the self-awareness using the wheel of wellness that I created, she was able to pick apart what her true dream was, and that was to be an optimal health condition. And there are several ways to do that. Running a marathon, I'm not doubting it. You know, I'm not a runner myself, so I get it. But there are other ways to do that, and we found one that was right for her. The next code is the spirit water code. And here we set the space for powerful belief clearing techniques. We, set the space of our garden. It's like getting the land ready. You pull the weeds, till the soil. You get everything ready so that it's an optimal condition for those dreams to manifest. And that's what we do here. We learn to set our surroundings, to embody that feeling so that what we're trying to manifest can come in with ease. And at this point, I know, going back to our vision board, you've added all of those fancy little dreams to your board, but we have to consider the steps to get there. There's nothing wrong with wanting to run a marathon, but we have to think about the steps to get there if that is truly what we're trying to manifest. We have to start with running a mile, then running 3 miles, then running 5 miles. We have to consider each and every step along the way. And those first 3 codes, the first phase of Dream Timeline Accelerator, will help to map all that out for you. The next step is we move on over to the dream sprout process. And here's where we peel back the layers to your relationship with money. And this gives your dreams the room to sprout and grow. We start off with code 4, the money stabilizer code. Where we dig up any of those money wounds getting in your way, and we find a way to heal those, to overcome that. Because if we're using the same reference as our life as the garden, how can we expect new things to grow and prosper if it's full of weeds? If there's trash, we haven't, cultivated the ground yet. It's not quite possible to have that new prosperous growth that we intended. So the next step would be code 5, the embodied crystal strength code. And here we will help you to sense, feel, and honor your wildest dream. You'll have the education or learn the tools needed to help you to amplify this and get there faster. We'll heal the chakras. We'll use crystals in order to help harness our goals. We'll talk about how to honor and embody it, because the worst thing is being like those lottery winners that get the money and can't hold on to it and turn around and broke again. And we're going to prevent all that here. Next, we move on to code 6, which is the fallen leaf code. And here we'll help you to awaken to new beginnings. This is where we've cut through all of the wounds. We've learned how to heal and establish what the proper area we need. And now we move into sensing, feeling, and honoring our dreams and awakening to those new beginnings. And I'm sure you've tried setting dreams before, or setting goals, or making plans before, and it gets to a point where you feel stuck. You only can go so far, and you stop. And either you give up or you redirect, and these 3 codes will help to overcome that obstacle. Next, and the final phase, is the dream growth process. Here is where we repair our relationship with money. This allows the dreams to grow and flourish. We start off with code 7, and this is the fertilize the mind code. And here will help you to learn how to allow money to flow freely. Because more often than not, the issues, the wounds that we healed in the previous codes and sections are those that are stopping us from allowing the money to flow freely. And you've heard those people who are penny pinchers or hold on to money. We learn about the importance of giving, of sharing, of, welcoming in and inviting in abundance freely. And code 8 is the purity to passion code. And here's where we install those dreams into your subconscious. So not only are you consciously working towards your dreams, subconsciously we make those efforts and effects and begin to work there as well. And then the final is a bonus. It's code 9. It's the harvest moon code. And here we'll raise your vibration to align with your future self. And we'll learn about timeline jumping and utilizing those freeways in the mind to excel and jump into the actual timeline or freeway where you're successful, where you're there. You'll learn all of those practices and the tools to tend the garden, to do the work needed to manifest your dreams. So you have your vision board, you've tried manifesting your dreams, but once you rewire your relationship with money, you learn how to call the money in. You learn how to utilize the self-awareness and heal yourself from the traumas that are slowing you down. Then manifesting becomes easy. It's a game changer. And I've gone through all the hard work. I've done all the battles for you. And I've created this beautiful container. And it's taken me years. And I'm very excited that I now am able to share the Dream Timeline Accelerator Coaching and Healing Program. Here is a money mindset coaching program that gives you the tools that you need to plant the confidence that you've been missing so that you can manifest your dreams easily. Because as moms, as future super moms, as career women, we don't have time to waste. And a lot of times when we try to move forward to something that seems as a dream or a huge landmark or goal, we get stuck in that path and time starts to take over and we start telling ourselves, nope, we don't have time for this. Nope, we can't do that. Nope, we got to do it another time. This is the program you need. And I'm excited to let you know that the waitlist is now open. If you click the link in my bio, I've even given you, those that are here with me today, a sneak peek inside the program so that you can see for yourself how it works, what we do, and you can also add yourself to the wait list so that you can be the first to know when open enrollment begins. I thank you all for spending these past 3 days with me. I appreciate, I'm grateful for your energy, and I look forward to seeing you inside the Facebook group. And if you haven't joined me there yet, there is a link in the bio where you can join the Facebook group. I will be popping in next week to do a live Q&A to help to address some of the questions that have come up during these 3-part series. Thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful day. Ashe.